Hey everybody. So I am here in San Diego. Just gonna kind of wait a minute for people to roll in, but I wanted to do a quick impromptu little live stream, maybe 10 minutes or so. Just kind of kick back at the end of the day, relax, sip a little whiskey. I'll talk about it in a minute. Hey, there's somebody already in. I love that people just jump in. Wow, 5 people already. It's like 20 seconds in. Love it. So, hey everybody, thanks for jumping in. Hey Michael, PJ, what's going on? It's actually kind of nice. Brandon Knight, I'm here for a second. Appreciate it. I didn't even look. Is anybody else live streaming right now? Because I would feel bad if I'm kind of, stepping on their toes a little bit. It's not the 2019-01 yet. I think I'm going to have to just buy that one myself. I've mentioned before I have a person at Booker's who just sends them to me because I mean they're like $80 a piece, so getting them for free is not bad, but it's like takes forever to get them. So I'm not on vacation. I mean sort of. I'm here for work. Let's try this. So I'm in sunny San Diego, California. It's actually a little tiny bit over. Not nearly anything to complain about. What I do have, however, is a little whiskey that I brought with me. Oh, my bourbon journey just finished. Perfect. Awesome. Good timing then. I have no freaking clue what time it is. I just left work. So it looks like it's 6:20 p.m. my time, so 9:20 Eastern Standard. So anyway, hey Rick. Well, I'm glad to be in San Diego. Santiago. Scholars maintain. Alright, anyway, so what I have here is New Riff Distillery. I believe it's barrel strength. So here's the problem, and I'm going to go into this for a sec. So this is the bottle that I have. Now you might detect something unique about this bottle and what had some writing on it. Hey Sydney, what's going on? This used to say, I'm really trying to read it. I think it's just a barrel strength kind of thing. Single barrel. That's what it is. So what happened was, I flew out here. I had my luggage all packed, whatever, and I have talc, like men's powder stuff that you put on your back to not be sweaty guy. So or just whatever. So I put that in its own Ziploc, and I threw a couple bottles of bourbon in there. And they're small bottles, but I put a couple of those little nip things. One of them decided to open a little bit, just enough to really destroy everything in that bag. And it was this one. I should have known it was sealed with electrical tape, but oh well, it was fine. So I lost the label there. But anyway, so I've got the New Riff single barrel. So I'm just gonna kind of sip on this and hang out with you guys. So what is going on in the wide world of whiskey? Who's drinking with me? Yeah. Hey, what's going on? So for those of you that don't know, Iron Root Distillery, that's Robert Licorice. He's one of the owners of Iron Root. I will say this is fantastic. Wow. This is, it's like extremely caramelly. Can't drink while you're working, huh? Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, technically, I guess I'm working because I'm here all week, but not actively working at the moment. Put in some serious hours yesterday for anybody who decided to see my little story on YouTube yesterday. It was like, so 3-hour difference, right? I landed on Sunday night. 4 Roses single barrel. Nice. Oh no, small batch. Okay, never mind. What's the name of the new 4 Roses that they put out? Something about it's not a single barrel. It was something else. I can't drink and drive. Well, that's probably a good move. Of course, I didn't bring any sort of tripod with me, so I'm just holding the camera, so I apologize if it's a little shaky. Anyway, smooth. I wouldn't say it's very smooth. It's got a little bit of a bite, but it's also a high ABV. Let me see if I can make out what it is here. Something 6.53. I'm gonna guess it's 56.53 percent. I always find when I drink whiskey outside, it really changes the palate. I find that when I drink whiskey outside, I have a way better time because a lot of times I'm just chilling. Anyway, so as I was saying, so I landed on Sunday night, about 7 p.m. time here. So it was already like 10 in my head. And then I had to pick up the car, drive to the hotel, check in, do all that stuff. By the time I went to bed, it was like 1 p.m. here. No, that's not right. It was like midnight. It was like midnight. And so, I mean, pretty late. And then I woke up Monday morning, got to work. I woke up at like 6:30. I woke up, got to work for like 8. And then I worked till 9:30 this time. So already that was like midnight in my head again. Came back, you know, just goofed around in the room. Was starting to edit tomorrow's video, which, by the way, Balcones, Texas Pot Still Whiskey, and pretty good stuff. I'm having fun editing the video. That's why those of you that are patrons haven't gotten the early release yet, but you'll get it today. So I got 30 people in the stream on Impromptu, loving it. What's my favorite budget bourbon under 20 bucks? Geez, 20 bucks. You're really cutting it pretty low. Maybe Old Granddad? Maybe? What else? What else would even be an option under that? I think I gotta go with Old Granddad. Hey, Guy Davis, what's going on? What do you think of the new Game of Thrones episode? Well, I won't say anything spoiler-wise because it's only a couple days old. I think it was kind of what I was expecting. I was really hoping for a little bit more action of some sort, but I get it. They're establishing story, but I think there's only like 6 episodes, so they got to just jump right into it. But overall, I mean, I'm overly excited for the whole season. Did you enjoy the drams on the flight? I am almost weirded out by asking the stewardess to pour me a dram I bought. Oh. So, there's an interesting question, and this is something that actually I've been asked before, like, how do you bring whiskey on a plane? So, 2 things you gotta look for. Number 1 is, does the airline give you crap if you bring it yourself? Oh, Old Forester's? Is Old Forester's under 20 bucks? I know you could sometimes find it for that, but interested to know if you can consistently get that. I know I think you told me once you got it for 17, but I think that was like a good deal. Anyway, so you can bring whiskey on a plane as long as the airline itself is cool with it. Like JetBlue's cool with it. So you can ask the stewardess to pour it for you, and that's totally fine. The idea being that they can keep track of how much you drank so that they know that they're not over serving you. Greetings and salutations. And so that's kind of it. But there's really not a big deal. Like, they don't really care. Certainly beats buying like a nip of Jack for $7. Bill, I spend my money on the whiskey, so I don't have HBO, but my coworker tells me about it. He's a big fan. I'm a really big fan. I know Rob, Whiskey in the Six, did his thing. I would genuinely say I'm as big of a fan as he is. I just knew that he was going to want to do a live stream about it, so I backed off. Also, doing it from the hotel room would have been... I did not know that I was going to be in the hotel room when I originally made that plan to just back off on that. But I think everything worked out well. I really wish I had a tripod of some sort. I'm a big fan of the Dragon Lady. Aren't we all? Hello from Tennessee. I got my coin yesterday. Awesome. Nice. I'm glad to hear that. Sorry for the shaky camera. I'm trying to find a position that's not just going to kill my hand. So I've been using a mouse all day and a keyboard, and my wrists are actually a little sore. Will you leave the hotel for dinner or just do room service? Tonight I'll probably do room service, but I'm totally up for leaving. Because I have to edit videos, I'll probably do room service. But I've done room service the last 2 nights in a row, and I wouldn't mind getting out of here and doing something a little bit more exciting. But I'm pretty exhausted, honestly. I've been working like a dog. I'm laughing that I have almost 40 people in the stream at the drop of a hat, and I just love you guys. You guys are awesome. Just picked up a bottle of Larceny for 19. You know what? If you can get Larceny under $20, that would be my answer 10 times out of 10. If you can get Old Forester for under $20, that would be up there for me. It took me a little bit of time to get used to Old Forester and consider it as good as I think a lot of other people do. For whatever reason, I just never sat. It never just wasn't my favorite right away. I had to get used to it, and then it grew on me. Yeah, impromptus are good. You know, it's fun doing the thing at the table, and actually, I really love doing the Wheel of Doom. But this is just fun too. I mean, I'm in California. Have I seen any whiskey here that I couldn't find back home? I actually haven't been out shopping, but maybe I should. Just got back from a Mexican restaurant, about to pour a dram. I'll let Bill decide what I'll be drinking, haha, if he wants. All right, Booze Hound, give me 3 different choices, and I will choose one, and those in the comments will help me choose. I think everybody should throw out their votes. If you have the time to take a walk by La Jolla Cove, it's beautiful. Yeah, you know, I keep hearing that, and maybe I'll do that on Friday morning. I rented a car, so I can kind of go do whatever. But I'll have to figure that out. Hey Bill, greetings from Southern California. Hey, what's going on, Brandon? I'm in Southern California. Highland Park 12. Let me tell you, this is an exceptional whiskey. Everything that Barrel Proof does is very, very good. I really think that they're a standout new whiskey. Hold on, I want to read this one. Been watching your reviews for a little time. Had a small glass of wine. Oh my God, Woodford Reserve Double Oak outdoors for the spring weather. Awesome, Jeff. That sounds awesome. Do a live stream in the liquor store and let the people choose for you. You know, I've considered doing just random filming in liquor stores, and I've taken some clips for whatever I was doing. Okay, so hold on. Here's the 3. So we got Kleinleash 14, Bunnahabhain 12, or Ardbeg Ugadale. I'm gonna go Bunnahabhain 12. Go for that one. Your proper 12 review was way too nice. It's rubbish. It is rubbish, but there's also, you know, it's not good, and I don't think anybody's going to watch my review and think that they should go buy the bottle, but being not overtly insulting is also much more my speed, unless it's Johnny Walker Red, in which case that's more a joke than anything. There's like some sort of oh man, there's a military base I think pretty close to here, and sometimes there's, you know, pretty awesome planes flying overhead. So sorry if you're all just staring at my nose. Hey Mose, what's going on? Hey Thomas. I really was hoping to see something cool. The last time I was driving back to the airport, I saw, I want to say it was an F-16, but honestly at that distance it was hard to tell. That lighting is terrible. I feel like I should just like walk around a little bit, but I feel like that would make me look like a psychopath. Plus, sitting here and chilling and drinking my whiskey's good. What's going on, Steve? Nothing better going on tonight, huh? Had to come watch my sorry ass. So, Bunnahabhain 12, grabbed my first bottle a few weeks ago. So glad I did. Awesome. So, you know what? You guys are here. Maybe I'll let you in on a little stuff that's going on in the next couple of weeks. So, I keep looking at this side of the camera instead of this side of the camera. So, hey, there you are. All right. So tomorrow, I'm releasing a video on Balcones Texas Pot Still, and that's going to be awesome. The whiskey itself is great, and the story behind the brand is actually something I'm excited to put out there, because I think it's got a little of everything. It's got a cool story, it's got a little bit of drama, it's got a interesting ending, and the whiskey itself is good. So I think it's going to be a really good episode, so I'm spending a little extra time editing it. And then this Friday, I almost hate to say it, but I'm actually going back to an Irish whiskey. And the reason I'm doing so, because I know you guys are probably sick of Irish whiskey at the moment. The reason I'm doing so is because this one in particular is interesting. It's an Irish rye whiskey. It's from Kilbeggan. You guys that watched my last live stream would have seen it on there, the one on Fireball. But it was worth doing, and I kind of wanted to do it. So even though Irish, you know, this close to Irish Whiskey Month might be a little whatever, I'm willing to take less views because it was something I wanted to review. So, oh well. So I brought some other stuff with me. Actually, I am sitting out here. I was a little bit worried that I was going to have trouble opening bottles and do whatever. So let's pop in here for a minute. And so there's my editing. I got Adobe Premiere open, doing all that. But I have not finished it yet. I brought the Booker's 30th, because Booker's. And I also have LaFroig 10 cast strength, which you guys may have heard me talking about last night. So I'm going to bring them both out here on the deck. That's nice. I like the Brimstone a lot. Did you hear that Glenmorangie is changing the Quinta Rubin to 14 years soon? Maybe. Maybe I knew that for a little while. Maybe somebody's going to be reviewing Quinta Rubin in the near future. Maybe. So, we'll see. Anyway, somebody asked what I'm drinking. I am drinking New Riff. Hold on. So, got my whiskey shirt a couple weeks ago. Any updates on the next challenge coins? So, yes. And actually I have some other updates which are worth giving. So those of you that know, in October, there is the event at the Austin Distillery for the Whiskey Tribe. I spoke with Daniel, and I will be coming, and I will be doing my normal thing with filming and having a table and selling merch and doing all that stuff. Because I actually have merch this year. Had nothing last year. I remember standing at the table like a fool. But this year should be a lot better. So I will be at the event, and I'm going to have to go book my hotel pretty soon because I have a feeling it's going to be sold out. But we'll see what happens. Last year it was an awesome event. I would like to do that again. As far as the next batch of coins go, so yes, I have the design. I've done the design. I have not ordered them yet because I still have something like, I want to say like 65 coins left. I would love to sell, I would love to get down to like 50. If I get to 50, then I'll probably place my next order for the coins. You know, just a little sneak peek into the behind the scenes stuff here. So recently, obviously tax season, and I paid all my taxes for the whiskey dictionary. And when I did that, you know, like it was hard to know exactly how much I was going to have to pay. So I borrowed from my personal accounts and then paid it back using the Whiskey Dick funds. So that is all done. Now I have money to play with again. I don't unfortunately have the patron support that people like Chad and Sarah have, which, boy, I don't know what it is. I'm very happy for them, but jeez, I've got like 50. They've got like 300 patrons. I don't know. There's something different there. I suspect I know what it might be. I'm not as good looking as Chad, but having a little extra fun money would be nice. But anyway, I'm not sitting here begging. I'm more just stating a fact that I will have money to place the order for the new coins. It's like 500 bucks. That's kind of what I'm talking about. However, before I do the coins, I want to actually do Glencairn glasses because I've been putting it off because it's a bit of an investment as well. But now that investment is a lot more realistic. You've got 5 patrons. I'm one of them, Eric. So, although I would say, Eric, you don't do a whole lot with your Patreon, so it's fine. I like supporting you. So, Eric, since you're here, does this look familiar? Ever been to Seattle? I have not been to Seattle. Now, the Glencairns that I'm going to make, I will say, are actually, unless I can do them double-sided, which I might be able to do. They may not have my logo on them because I have a better idea. At least in my mind, I think it's a better idea. I'll probably have to sell some with my logo as well, but I like something more fun than just a logo. But actually, I'm curious. Would you guys, not knowing my idea, because I don't want to give it away, let's assume that the idea itself is pretty funny. Would you rather have one with my logo or one that's kind of more generic but a little bit funnier? What are the contents of my home bar? Dude, how long you got? I think I've probably got about 50 bottles or so. Logo, generic and funny. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to do both, which, no big deal. All right, so here's the question for you guys. Hey, look, it's my back. All right, so LaFroig 10, Booker's 30th, or finish the New Riff. What should I do? I'm leaning towards finishing off the New Riff. I had a feeling Booker's was gonna come up. Oh, Booker's and Frog and New Riff. Wonderful. The first 3 answers are all different. New Riff. Whichever one gets 3 votes first gets it. Bookers. We're 2 and 2 and 1. New riff it is. All right. Excuse me. Let's finish that off. So this place has a really good room service because they have a restaurant kind of here, and it's, yeah, that went over the edge. Oh well. So the room service here is actually very good, and they have this burger which is topped with braised ribs or something, I think is what it's called. The thing is, it's got to be 2,000 calories, and every bit of it is delicious. I'll probably be getting that for dinner tonight. I've been eating relatively healthy while I'm out here because I usually eat like a pig, but switching from Lefroy to anything else is just terrible. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna drink the new riff, and then I'll probably hop on the Bookers. Yeah, actually, Eric had a burger with me here. Yeah, that's true. Actually, I love that we hung out, Eric. I wish that we actually. I know you said something about September. We'll see if we can make that work. Hey Matt, what's going on? Let's see. What does this button do? Ah, ooh, ah, ee. Ah, whoa! Too much Bookers. Now how do I get it back? There we go. Ah, stop it. There we go. I hope that worked, and that I didn't just look like an idiot with no filter whatsoever. What kind of phone are you getting, Eric? I mean, Matt. Man, I have this tree right here, and I think it's blocking my view of all these cool planes that are flying overhead. Yeah, whatever. I will say it sucks. Every time I come out here, I get rain, and like San Diego doesn't rain. Peated whiskey from San Diego Distillery this week. Have you been there yet? I've not been there yet. I was thinking about going out there this time, but I did not bring my camera equipment. I was thinking about it, but I didn't have the time. This was kind of not a last minute trip, but it was not as much planning as I would have liked to have done, and I'd like to have given them a call and just been like, hey, let's do a thing. I have this thing in Boston Harbor Distillery that I'll probably be doing in May. As that you guys know, I'm doing the distillery tours, but those take a long time to get amped up or ramped up. Anyway, so that will be the first one I really do, and I've already talked to the owner. She's cool with me kind of figuring out what the heck to do with my camera when doing one of these. So I figured I would go there, do that first, and then start exploring other distilleries. So, well, that new riff went away real fast, which I'm happy about because Bookers. Wait, let me do the whiskey vault thing. Bookers. Did you guys see their video today? They did a thing on Tullamore Dew Caribbean cask, which I know I didn't like. I was a little surprised. They liked it. I gotta wash out. Actually, no, I'm not gonna wash out this cup, but I am going to trade it for a different one. So. Don't mind me. Just doing a vlog style live stream. There's, oh yeah. You know, watching that from above looked like it was gonna make me sick. I hope that wasn't terrible for you guys. I'm sorry. So let's say, what do we say? Who out there, as you know, I always like to give a cheers. So, what, you know what? To the firefighters who were fighting the fire in Notre Dame and were able to help recover the little bit that they could. Cheers. Did you guys see that, like, there's all these millionaires coming out just out of nowhere, you know, like $100 million, $200 million to help restore the place? I think that's insane, but like in a good way. But I can't help but think that that money could probably be used somehow differently or better. Man, this Booker's 30th is really good. Hard to have justified the money for it, but it's still really good. How many of you out there have actually had the Booker's 30th? Curious. I don't even know what half these buttons do. So I'm on my iPhone, and this is my work phone. I never use this phone, so I've got all these extra little options. Am I just missing the chat, or is everybody super quiet? No, I think they're all just super quiet. Right? Somebody say something. I'm not even confident that things are still going. Oh, whatever, I'll just sit here and drink. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so YouTube just totally cut off the chat, so if anybody said anything interesting, I'm sorry, I missed it. $1,000 for the Booker's 30th? Holy crap. Boy, is that not worth it. The most expensive whiskey that I've ever personally bought, probably going to be, sorry, it's tough to be entertaining and be on the reading the chat as well. The most expensive whiskey I've personally ever bought, probably only like 150 bucks. Most expensive whiskey I've drank is like 650 bucks. At least at retail. Sounds like that Booker's 30th at this point would have been more. But it's good. I see it much more as a collector's item for anybody doing that. Bookers. I didn't realize that was going to become a thing when I filmed that. That was I'm fine with it. Just wasn't the intent. So I'm probably gonna get some room service tonight. Trying to decide whether I should stick with whiskey or get a beer, but I think I'm gonna stick with whiskey. Should I buy the Booker's 2019-01? No. Booze Hound, I have not even had it yet. Just based off everybody else's opinion, I'm gonna guess it's not very good. I would buy the kitchen table while you still can, and if you can find the Kathleen's batch, the 2018-01, go for that one. $800 Ardbeg. Which one's that, Eric? Man, listen to those birds. I'm from Massachusetts. We don't have birds yet. Front porch. Which one's the front porch? Front porch was 2017-04, wasn't it? It was one of the 2017s, I think. Yeah, because it was Kathleen's batch, and then Backyard Barbecue, and then Kentucky Chew, and then Kitchen Table. So, yeah, you're talking back in 2017 at this point. Boy, I know too much about Bookers. Did I ever tell you guys why I care about Bookers? I might not have, but it's worth, you know, it's kind of half worth telling. I think it's going to be a little underwhelming, but why not? We're hanging out. And boy, did a half hour go by fast. So, let me think. I want to say it was probably about 2.5 years ago. I was at a friend's house playing poker. And we were playing, and we were drinking, and I brought a bottle of Booker's, and he had a bottle of Booker's, and we were just sharing those things. Like we had gone through a couple of things. Actually, it's the first time I tried the Boo Rye as well. Excuse me. And we tried the Booker's, and we ended up passing around to everybody on the table, and everybody was just like, "Holy crap, this is strong stuff!" And of course, being the talented man that I am, as far as my iron stomach goes, had no problem with the Bookers. But I noticed that a lot of people were making mistakes with their hands, folding when they probably shouldn't have, or taking new cards when they shouldn't have. Or actually, no, we were playing Texas Hold'em, so yeah, they would have just not folded when they probably should have. So all right, I gotta interrupt my own story just to say that both my father and my grandfather are both in the chat. So pretty awesome. Pretty funny. Anyway, so we were all playing poker and everybody was making mistakes. And we were just starting to blame the Bookers for every little mistake that happened. And the term of the night became effing Bookers, except the full word. And it just became a thing. And so we started saying it around work, because I work with a few of these guys, and it was just a thing that persisted for a couple of months. At which point I decided, hey, you know what, I should actually do reviews of Bookers, and that's when I did that Tommy's batch, which was 2016 something or other, 04 maybe. And that kind of started the whole thing, and I decided that Bookers was going to be a thing. I just covered every single batch. I just decided that would be the thing I'd latch on to. So anyway, so I would love Whiskey Novice is saying that from that angle. Like, yeah, I could see that. No, no, can't do it. Anyway, where was I going with that? No clue. Doesn't matter. So, Booker's 2018. Booker's 30th. Last night I was drinking the Lafroig cast strength. So I will say that all of this is because I'm freaking exhausted, not because I've drank nearly enough. In fact, I probably haven't drank nearly enough yet. So I'll have to edit a video tonight, and that's going to take some time. Let's see, what else? So driving around San Diego, haven't seen anything all that exciting out here yet. Now, here's a question for you guys. Anybody who might live in San Diego. So there is obviously a ton of different craft beer distilleries out here, and I would love to know if you guys have any good suggestions, because I still have like 2 more nights here. Wow, went down the wrong pipe. I am holding the camera, Grandpa, and yeah, I don't have much other choice. I looked around for something that I could kind of be a makeshift tripod, and no good options. So I did not go back to the Whiskey House, Eric. Yeah, I did not go back to the Whiskey House. I would love to. I just kind of didn't feel like paying, you know. I feel like if I go back there, I'm going to order a McKellen M. And I'm not going to care what it costs. And I'm going to order a McKellen M. Because I just feel like there's no other way that I'm ever going to taste it. And I would love to know what it's like. So, anyway, bottle kill for the Booker's 28, why do I keep saying 2018-30? Jeez, that's incorrect. So, bottle kill for the Booker's 20, oh my gosh, the Booker's 30th. Holy crap, I need to sleep. But look at that, like, I can't go to sleep. It's too early out here. Noah's Mill yet. If you not, where's Noah's Mill from, Booze Hound? I'm almost sad that I'm not drinking out of a Glencairn. I almost brought one with me, I really did. I almost wrapped it in a sock. Oh, will it? Okay. Bug, sorry. I have not had that one yet. I've seen it, actually, now that you mention it, but nope. So one thing about the Whiskey House in San Diego, they, one thing I actually like is that they have, so first off, they have basically every whiskey. If you want it, you can probably get it there. And you're just gonna pay for it. Sorry, I'm getting comfortable. That's a helicopter. Anyway, so they have virtually every whiskey there, and you can get whatever you want. But, I mean, obviously you're gonna pay a price. And with that many choices, it totally becomes just analysis paralysis. You stare at the menu, you have no clue what to order, and then you end up ordering something that maybe you've always wanted to try, but that you could easily just go buy. That was it for me. So I ended up getting the Longmorn 16, which I had at La Quinta back last August. They do, actually, they have the most in the world. I believe that they just got that that world record. So, anyway, I would like to try the McKellen M. And I think, oh, what I was getting at is that they have the Pappy Van Winkles, and they're like almost completely out of reach. Almost to the point where they're like saying that, hey, nobody ever orders these, which is funny because a lot of people will say that it's such an overhyped whiskey, and honestly I haven't had it. I can't say whether it is or not. You had the Ardbeg Supernova when you were there. I did actually watch your video, Eric. I wish I'd gone to the Whiskey House when I was in San Diego. Have you been to any local distilleries while there? I haven't been to any yet. I have at least 2 of them on my other phone that I know I want to go to. One of them is just something like San Diego Whiskey House Distillery Place or something. I have no idea what it was called, but it was small. And I looked at the pictures. It would be a very short trip to the point where I guarantee you that they're just using MGP and have a storefront, but it's tough to say. Sorry, hold on, I'll tell you in a sec. All right. It's you would have had to see it, but there's just a dude kind of walking around totally confused out of his mind. Has anyone ever told you I look like... I hate you, Albert. Yes, people do tell me that I look like Anton LaVey. 5% battery about to die and no charger till you get home, boo. Well, Matt, I appreciate you dropping by. Do you think it's right to ask such a price for a dram, i.e. McKellen M or Pappy, etc.? That's an interesting question, too. I guess, here's what I think. I think that a whiskey worth a lot of money has to be old. And the reason that I say that is, unless, jeez, there is so much air traffic over here, it's insane. No, it's okay, Albert. I remember when I first started the channel, I got a lot of people saying that. I think it's really just any dude with no hair and this kind of facial, hair just looks like Anton LaVey. Anyway, any whiskey that's old, I totally understand charging a good amount of money for it, whether it's good or not. And the reason for that is that you've essentially had to pay rent on that barrel for X number of years. And to some degree, even if it's a 50-year-old whiskey that's just okay, it should still be like a couple $100, or at least a few $100. Mostly because somebody had to keep that barrel around, somebody had to turn that barrel a couple times a year, and somebody had to do whatever they do. Taste it every now and then, which that part's okay. That should be its own payment. Yeah, that's true. At least it's not Uncle Fester, although I don't think he had any facial hair. So if I shave this off, maybe it would be. I did actually forget my trimmer, so this is a little scruffier than normal. But now, as far as charging something like $5,000 for a bottle of McKellen M, at that point you're paying for the art that is the bottle and the packaging, and obviously the name. Now, Stone Cold I'll take. That one I'm all right with. That dude's still wandering around. It's always funny when you catch somebody who just doesn't know what to do. And here, let me see if I can... Nah, you can't see him. Just like, you could tell he's just kind of meandering about. He doesn't know what to do. I'm waiting for somebody who's taking way too damn long. Anyway. Boy, this 30th went away too fast. Drinking on live streams, you tend to drink a lot. Those of you that are in the Whiskey Tube community, you know. So Eric, I really liked your video that you did the other day about the Whiskey Tubers, and just in general, I know I responded to it, but essentially Eric was talking about product placement and how you have to or do not have to, kind of put certain text or certain verbiage into your video that says that you are in fact doing product placement, and whether that affects Whiskey Tubers or not. Now, we are not exactly advertisers. Try some Lafroig, it's very good. Anyway, what are you talking about? Awkward as hell, but brilliant. Oh, whatever. Anyway, so he was talking about product placement and whether it's something you have to actually talk about or not, and disclose. But anyway, I really like that, Eric. I think that's a good thing for you. Now, one thing I would love to see, Eric, just because of your personal knowledge, I would love to see you talk a little bit more about sherry and whiskey, and kind of one thing that I get comments on frequently as far as a video idea is how do whiskeys actually get their flavor? If you have a bourbon and it suddenly tastes like pears or apples or caramel or toffee, like, how does that happen? And the thing is, I'm not a chemist. I can't really tell you for sure without doing a heck of a lot of research, which I'm also kind of willing to do, but I'll get there eventually. Now, Eric, I do think you actually probably have some of that knowledge, and I think that you could probably explain some of it a little bit better. Looking forward to Texas month. Do you feel some peated whiskeys taste smokier than others, despite their ppms? I feel like the Lafroig 10 is perceivably smokier than Bruichladdich Port Charlotte 50. Yeah, actually, I totally do. And I think what determines that, although the ppm has some part to it, which no pun intended, I think it has to do with what else the whiskey is doing. If the whiskey does nothing interesting except for taste like smoke, that's all you're going to focus on. If it has more flavor to it, then you'll focus on that too. and it will seem as if it's a little bit less smoky because it's got extra complexity. So something like Laphroaig 10, right? Laphroaig 10 is nothing if not a gimmick of how much smoke you can make a whiskey taste like, excluding Octomore. But like a Laphroaig 10 just tastes like smoke. Now Laphroaig Quarter Cask tastes like smoke and like a few other things. But that's kind of what I think. If it's got other stuff going on, it won't taste as smoky. Yeah, no, I think you totally should, Eric. I think people would actually really enjoy that video. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. Anyone who's not subscribed to Eric, he does very, very good videos. And actually, he's been tearing it up lately. He's been outpacing me, and I've been, doing a couple videos a week. He's been doing a lot more. Do you concern yourself with oxidation, whiskey oxidation, meaning do you take precautions like moving it to a smaller bottle? Or I do not, null reference. Two things happen with my whiskey. One, I drink it. Two, I give it away. And, to some extent, I get some bottles from distilleries, so I don't really mind giving things away. I feel like sharing the wealth. If I'm going to get a bottle, especially one that I don't really love, I'm probably going to give it away. But oxidation tends not to be a problem for me because I really only care. It's such a weird thing doing this as a hobby. When you're reviewing whiskeys 2 a week, you're so obsessed with what your next whiskey review is going to be that you'll drink 1 or 2 whiskeys for a week or 2, and you'll make your notes and you'll do whatever your process is. But after that, at least for me, I might drink a whiskey again, especially if I tell you it's like a stock it, I'm actually really drinking that whiskey pretty frequently, probably buying more than 1 bottle. But anything lower than that, even a buy it means that, hey, you know what, I would totally spend money on this and I'd be happy to have it and whatever. But like me personally, I just don't have a whole lot of whiskeys over and over and over again. I'm always trying the next thing. So maybe I'm not the right person to ask. But either way, the answer is I don't really care about oxidation because whiskeys tend not to last too long in my house. And if they do, I don't really care that they've changed their flavor because I'm not focused on it at the time. Let's see. In addition to what the Whiskey Dick says, it's important to know where the cuts are. You can use really high peated malt, and if you take a tiny cut like Macallan, it won't taste it. All right. Japanese whiskey industry and the current state of their market. That would be interesting to see, Eric. I would watch the heck out of that. Actually, let me know when you put that out. Depending on what's going on, I'll share that on my channel feed. Question for you guys. So obviously, if you're here in an impromptu live stream, you guys are probably pretty good fans, and obviously I appreciate you. I try not to do too many of those channel feed things, but I also try to do enough that you're seeing my stuff across your subscription feed and somewhat frequently. I don't really know what to make of it. As far as doing the community posts, I like doing them because I feel like it's a good way to interact with you guys when I'm not posting a video. But I have no real unbiased opinion of what it's like from your end. So whether it's me or whether it's other people, do you guys like seeing the textual posts in YouTube? Whether it be like an additional video that I'm sharing that I think is cool from one of the other whiskey tubers, or if it's like a poll or just a text post letting you know what's going on. You never really see them. Okay. Good plan, Eric. Yeah. So, here's the good news. I am out of Booker's 30th, so I don't have to take that home. I am out of this thing, the new riff. Alright, let's see. Haven't watched most or all of your videos. I really respect the fact that you try all whiskeys, Scotch, Irish, American. Do you have a favorite among these? Whiskey novice, I will get to that question in just a sec. Live are the best way to interact, in my opinion. Yeah, I totally agree. And you love my feeds. Awesome. Do you guys ever watch the YouTube stories that people put out? It's a newer feature and may not even have really explored it yet, but I'm sure you've noticed it. I have kind of stopped doing Instagram. I've kind of stopped doing Instagram because I have been posting a lot more on Patreon lately. which, by the way, if you donate a simple $1, then you will get access to that. I should wash this out before, actually, screw it. Booker's 30th is not going to stand up to a Lafroig, so I'm just going to pour on top. Anyway, I've been posting a lot more in Patreon, doing what they call lens clips, which are similar to Instagram. Excuse me, but I also like staying on the same social network, meaning YouTube. Brandon Wise, I will do my best not to get annoying. Neither here or there on text post. Do you have a certain level of subscribers to do that? Yeah, Eric, I think it's got to be like 10,000 subscribers. I'm okay with the community post. Thank you. Blah, blah, blah. Haven't even heard of YouTube on stories. I may or may not be living under a rock. Plus one on the live streams. Impromptu streams are awesome. Okay, well, that's actually really good to know. I could do a lot more impromptu streams. I have no problem with that. Now, there's a question that, all right. So you asked if I prefer Scotch, Irish, or American. This, hi Donner Pass. This is going to be, oh my God. All right, hold on. Before I get into that, let me just point out. I'm sitting here. My whiskey's way the hell down there. I can smell it like it's sitting right under my nose. Boy, do I love Lafroig. I love peated whiskeys. So, hold on before I take a sip. Very important. Let's see. What do I do? What, you know what? Actually, assuming that Grandpa and Dad are still in the chat, cheers to you guys. We all share a name, and that's about it. we're all awesome, especially me. Cheers. Oh man, that's so good. Just dipped my first Glenmorangie thanks to you. I sipped my first Glenmorangie. Now, which one is it? Is it the 10? Okay, so let me answer the question. Do I prefer Scotch? Do I prefer bourbon? I'll go bourbon, even though American whiskey. Or do I prefer Irish? And then I'll just throw Canadian and Japanese. So, Canadian's out. Canadian has its place. It is probably not in my bar. But, greetings. Hey, Richie Z. Nice to see you. Tyler, so you had the 10. Very good. Yeah, I don't normally have this much, you know, back and forth. It's just, you got to keep up with the chat. And on the phone, I can't look back as easily, so forgive me. Anyway, Canadian whiskey is meh. It really is. There's very few of them that are worth the money. One thing I would love to do, and I might even write the episode this week, is that intro to Canadian whiskey that I've been dying to write. I think it's good. You know, I've got the intro to bourbon, or the definitive beginner bourbon buying guide, and then the definitive Irish whiskey buying guide, the Scotch whiskey buying guide, all those things. I'd like to do one for each type. Japanese whiskey is incredible at one thing. And each whiskey is different. Each one of those Japanese whiskeys is different. And I guess there's, take this in the most not insulting way as possible. Whenever you know what? No, I'm not even going to get into it. So Japanese whiskey tends to pick one thing and do it extremely well. And it does. You know, like you might try a Japanese whiskey and say, you know what? That tastes like pear. And it tastes like nothing but pear, but is the best pear I've ever had. And then you might have another Japanese whiskey. It's like, you know what? That tastes like... Actually, most of them taste like pear. So, I need to explore more Japanese whiskeys. That's probably another reason I haven't written that episode yet. But I've had enough Canadian whiskeys to know which ones are good and which ones are not. Anyway, Irish whiskey's kind of out. Irish whiskey mostly tastes the same, but there is a lot of room for improvement, and I feel like they're starting to make those improvements. Now here's the kicker, because a lot of people on this channel would think that I am a big bourbon guy, and you'd be right. I do love bourbon, and I also love Scotch, but I love them for very different reasons. I think that bourbon is kind of an underrated whiskey based off of its flavor profiles, where you can almost joke that every bourbon tastes like oak and caramel and vanilla, and then something else. Whereas Scotch once again, just like the Japanese, tend to do one thing and do it really, really well. I'm sorry to hear that, Eric. He says the whiskey industry is on the verge of committing hara-kiri. Hold on. Not to offend anyone, but yeah, I agree with you, Bill. Japanese whiskey is Speyside, which to me is pear. Good. I'm actually glad to hear you agree with me, Whiskey Novice. And actually, I appreciate the question because it's giving me something to talk about. Have you tried Connemara whiskey? I haven't heard. I haven't, but heard it's peated. Yes, I have not tried it yet, but I will be covering it very soon. So I made a contact at Kilbeggan, who basically said, any of our whiskeys that you want, just let me know and I'll ship it over to you. I don't want to overload you guys with Irish whiskeys because I just got done with Irish Whiskey Month. Jesus. Helicopter! Alright. Totally not interesting for you guys, but it's so loud that I can't even talk over it. So, anyway. Alright, so the real question becomes, do I like Scotch or do I like bourbon more? I'm not sure. I think it really depends on my mood. Not trying to be indecisive, not trying to be non-committal, just simply saying that Scotch does a lot of different things than bourbon does, and bourbon does a lot of different things than Scotch does. And I think it would be very difficult to pick one or the other, but based off my mood, like right now, I'm hanging outside, I could totally go for a bourbon with an ice cube in it. Or I could totally go for a Speyside. Or I could totally go for an Islay. And all three of those are the right choice. It just really depends on what you want. So I know it's what is it, Tuesday? Tuesday night. Is anybody drinking with me? That'd be interesting to know. Let me just point out that this was intended to be a 10-minute live stream, and it has now gone for 52 minutes. I live next to a flight line on Camp Pendleton, so I grew up. Yep, all right. What are your thoughts on the new Four Roses Small Batch Select? I have not tried it yet, but I am very eager to. I love both almost equally. The Bunnahabhain you chose, and it's delicious. Fantastic. Four Roses DB here. Looking forward to the Connemara video. Okay, that's good to know, actually, because I think that they'd be very willing to send me a bottle of it to get it reviewed. Kilbeggan is a very interesting distillery. Actually, the video that I'm putting out on Saturday will be on Kilbeggan. I'm Irish, and my personal opinion is Irish whiskey is one-dimensional, bourbon and or American whiskey is interesting, Scotch is exciting. Okay, Balcones single malt. Balcones is very good stuff. I'm also eager to see what they're doing. I would say, you guys have seen, I've done a lot of, hold on, I'm smoking a fat doobie of some cheesy herb. Good for you. I'm glad that you're doing that with your life. Says the guy who's sitting out on a balcony drinking. But if you ever go to Scotland, get to the Glengoyne distillery. It's very interesting. I think my life will eventually take me to Scotland. You were at Balcones. So Eric, actually, never mind. I was going to ask a question. I couldn't remember the guy's name. So, boy, you guys are, I'm not complaining about all the comments, but it's hard to keep up. I feel like I'm got ADD. Yeah, having a Makers with you tonight, really enjoying the feed. Great. Good, because I've been all over the place and pretty much just chatting at the wall. I was saying something about something. Oh, yes. So, very interesting about that, Finbar. I don't think it's older, but it is the oldest licensed distillery in the world. And I think Bushmills, yeah, I think Bushmills has actually been making whiskey longer, but they're not licensed, or they weren't licensed longer. I've mentioned, or sorry, sorry, geez, I'm terrible at this. I need to just ignore the chat for a minute and talk. So I'm off Carmel Mountain Road. I'm at the Hotel Carlin. Silver guitar, if that helps. Okay, Kilbeggan. So Kilbeggan is an Irish whiskey, obviously. They are, you'll see this all on Saturday too, but I'm going to recap because it's fun. They have been around for something like 250 years, something crazy like that, maybe longer, but they have not been actively making whiskey for that long. They did it for a long, long, long time, and then Prohibition, which killed pretty much everything, Scotch, Irish, and bourbon, and Canadian. Excuse me. But they, wow. Totally keep losing my train of thought. It's so hard to ignore the chat over here. All right. I think I need to sit up because I think I'm just getting too tired laying back like that. All right, so anyway, they've been doing this forever. They shut down, they reopened in 2010, and then started kind of doing their thing again. And so because of that, they have, you know, been sourcing from Cooley Distillery, and they've been doing what every other friggin' Irish whiskey distillery does. Although I will say it's not that too many people frown on MGP, but I don't think a lot of people frown at all on Irish whiskeys sourcing from Cooley. So that's what they're doing, except for the whiskey that I'm going to be reviewing on Saturday. That one is all them, and that's part of the reason I started with that. San Diego is great. San Diego is great except for the traffic and the taxes. Well, luckily I don't have to deal with the taxes, but the weather is fantastic. I'm out here in a t-shirt. Maybe it's a little bit chilly, but I'm from Massachusetts. Like, I could sleep out here and be fine. Hey, there's a person. Let's see. Hey, guy. Anyway, so I'm coming up on the hour. I think I'll probably cut it in an hour, mostly because I'm just kind of chilling. I don't really have a lot to discuss. I don't have any props. I don't have anything. I'm just kind of hanging out with you guys. And chat versus text is a little tough. But you know what I might do? Maybe tomorrow night I'll do a Patreon only live stream. I think that could actually be very fun. I'll do it on Google Hangouts. So if you happen to be watching this and you're part of my Patreon, I think I'm actually going to go make a post about this in a little bit. If you are interested in becoming a patron, you can find a link in the description below. And I think that you would really enjoy it. There's a lot of little perks. I'm not going to hawk it too much. I'm just more saying that it would be wonderful to have more patrons. I think it would be the single most thing to help encourage me to keep with the channel. Thanks for the stream tonight, Spill. I'll watch for tomorrow too. Cool. You guys should also check out the Discord. The Discord is also probably one of the coolest things that I've got going on with this channel. It's totally a bunch of people who love whiskey and love hanging out and talking, just talking about whatever. And oftentimes whiskey comes up, but it's not always about whiskey. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. I really enjoyed having a dram with you. Yeah, Whiskey Novice, I enjoyed drinking with you too. More people for Discord. It's always good to have more people. We've got a lot in there now, but it's always good to have more. Because seeing the same faces all the time, you know, like it's great, but it's always good when more people pop in there and become real active members of the community. So, chill live as Bills always are. Glad you're in San Diego. Too bad you're here for a rainy day. I know, right? Every freaking time I come out here, it rains. I don't know what the hell's going on. I must be bad luck, just bringing the weather from New England. Anyway, so I'm going to stand up. I'm going to give you all a very, yeah, Discord is free. Just check out the link in below. It takes like 3 clicks to get in there, and you absolutely friggin' should. All right, cheers to you all, you dickheads. I appreciate you joining me here on Whiskey Dictionary today.